गंधार्विक गिरिधारी शिष्य राधा विनोद बिहारी जू की जाय। श्री गोविंद गोपीनाथ मदन मोहन जू की जाय। नित्यालीला प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर शतशिमार भक्ति वेदांत नारायण गोसाई महाराज श्री गुरुदेव की जाय। नित्यालीला प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर शतशिमार भक्ति वेदांत वामन गोसाई महाराज की जाय। नित्यालीला प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर शतशिमार भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी महाराज श्रील प्रभुपाद की जाय। नित्यालीला प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर शतशिमार भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव गोसाई महाराज की जाय। नित्यालीला प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर शतशिमार नित्यालीला प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर शतशिमार भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोसाई प्रभुपाद की जाय। नित्यालीला प्रविष्ट महाभगवत श्री गोरक्षदास बाबाजी महाराज की जाय। नित्यालीला प्रविष्ट श्री सच्चिदानंद भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की जाय। नित्यालीला प्रविष्ट वैष्णव सार्वभौम श्री जगन्नाथ दास बाबाजी महाराज की जाय। श्री रूपानुगौर्य गुरु वर्ग की जाय। श्री बलदेव विजयभूषण प्रभु की जाय। श्री विश्वनाथ चक्रवर्ती ठाकुर की जाय। श्री नरोत्तम श्रीनिवास श्यामानंद प्रभु त्राय की जाय। श्री कृष्णदास कविराज गोसाई पाद की जाय। श्री रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल भट्टदास रघुनाथ शारद गोसाई प्रभु की जाय। श्री स्वरूप दामोदर राय रामानंदारी श्री गौर पार्षद वृंद की जाय। नाम चय श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जाय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जाय। श्री क्षेत्र मंडल गौर मंडल व्रज मंडल मथुर वृंदावन धाम की जाय। सर्व अविष्ट प्रदाते गिरिराज महाराज की जाय। श्री राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड की जाय। श्री यमुना देवी गंगा देवी की जाय। श्री तुलसी महारानी वृंद देवी की जाय। श्री भक्ति देवी की जाय। श्री पूर्णमासी योगा माया की जाय। श्री गोपेश्वर महादेव की जाय। जय श्री Saccidānanda Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura ki jai, all of his articles ki jai, all of his writings ki jai, jai. All the magazines of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada and all of his followers ki jai. Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Shinitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranams. Was it Satya Mataji, Nri Hari Prabhu, and Bhavatarani Mataji, Guru Nishta Prabhu, Hari Bol, and Manjari Didi, Hari Bol, Jai Shri Radhe. Manjari Didi, and let's see who's on YouTube and Facebook. Nobody wrote any comments, so I can't see who you are. I just see the numbers. But Dandavat Pranams, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. All right, so this article is a very short one, only 1,000 words. Unfortunately, this time also last time I prepared a little bit, this time I wasn't able to prepare anything. I mean, very quickly, like half an hour before we started, I went to Folio and I got a bunch of quotes to do with Pratiṣṭhā from Śrīla Śrīla Goswami Maharaj, but yeah, I'm not so prepared. So we'll see how this goes. Last time it went really nicely when we would just read a little section and then discuss it. So I'm hoping that we can do that again this time. But yeah, I'll just start and then but oh yeah, feel free to jump in at any time. You don't even need to raise your hand or anything like that. Just turn on your mic and speak. I mean, you can raise your hand if you feel more comfortable doing that, but yeah. All right, so I think this might be the first Srila Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura article that we're reading in our, is it? Can't remember. Anyhow, so maybe we should do first a quick Mangala Charan. I'll just Om Jnanatimidandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratishe Namaha. Oh, actually, we should do Srila Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura's pranam. Namo Bhaktivinodaya Saccidānanda Namine Gaura Shakti Sarupaya Rupanugavarayate Vrindaya Tulsi Devaya Priyaya Keshavasya Cha Krishna Bhakti Pradedevi Satyavatai Namo Namaha. Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So before I begin, I just want to mention quickly that for those of you who aren't subscribed, yeah, well, our program I have on particular days of the week, like on every Shukla Trayodashi, that was the day that Srila Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura appeared on, is Shukla Trayodashi, and on different tithis of the year, we have our sessions for first Srila Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura, then Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada, then my Param Gurudev Srila Bhakti Brighan Keshava Goswami Maharaj, and then for one of his god brothers like Srila Bhakti Rakshak Shridhar Goswami Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Dayat Madhav Goswami Maharaj. That's going to be our program for until we finish all the Rays of the Harmonist articles by them. And then the next year, I think that will take like 1.5 years or something. And then the next year, we're going to focus on articles by Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Bhaktivedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj, Srila Trivikram Goswami Maharaj, and Gurudev. So, and yeah, before each of our sessions, I send out an EPUB version of the article like this so that you could read it on a Kindle or on your phone or any device that you have. And I also send it in the email laid out nicely. So yeah, that arrives in your inbox 24 hours before a session. And then that gives you time to read on your own and meditate on the points. I didn't really do that myself this time. Sorry about that. So we'll see how this goes. But actually, I did read it just before we started. So I have it a little bit in my head. But yeah, anyhow. And before we were reading through the whole article and then discussing, but then it didn't work out so well. And then the last time we stopped after each, and whenever anybody wanted to share anything, yeah, it was a lot nicer. There's a lot more of a discussion. So I'm hoping that happens again this time. But, all right. So yeah, nobody feel shy or anything like that, just to jump in, as I mentioned before. Okay, so let's see. This is the book I made. Relinquishing the desire. One second, let me make the text bigger. It's too big. Okay. Oh, Haribol Champak Mataji. Okay, Relinquishing the Desire for Pratiṣṭhā by Srila Saccidānanda Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura. In the depths of Gyan, Vairagya, and so on, and behind all religion, lies the desire for honor and distinction. Hare Krishna, Shubhananda Prabhu, and Gopal Ghanasham Prabhu. There you go. One second, I'm just changing this so that I can see everybody. And I'm going to move this over to my other window so I can see the comments. Haribol Vidyalala Sadidi and Rasapriya Didi. Haribol. Okay. Sorry. Okay, now I'm set up. To the degree that we endeavor to develop ourselves spiritually, to become religious, to maintain a renounced life, and to deliberate on and discuss Gyan, we desire our own honor and distinction, Pratiṣṭhā. To the degree that we endeavor to develop ourselves spiritually, to become religious, to maintain a renounced life, and to deliberate on and discuss Gyan, we desire our own honor and distinction, Pratiṣṭhā. This desire contaminates our hearts and pollutes our characters. Although we make a great effort to control lust, anger, greed, illusion, and envy, and although we perform severe austerities to control the senses, concealed within our hearts, the desire for Pratiṣṭhā in the form of a wild infant animal continues to grow. I learn Ashtanga yoga with a desire to become a famous yogi. If anyone tells me that my yoga lessons are merely a show, I burn in anger. I discuss and deliberate upon many shastras in my endeavor to merge into Brahma. If I hear someone say that this process is fruitless, my mind becomes disturbed and I condemn the accuser. We learn 10 kinds of dharma, such as control of the mind and the external senses, austerity and truthfulness, and in carrying out our worldly activities, we perform daily obligatory religious duties, nitya karma, and occasional religious duties, naimittika karma. If someone says that karma kanda is simply useless labor, my mind suffers. I become unhappy because my Pratiṣṭhā is being made to appear insignificant. Those who desire sense enjoyment, bhukti, and liberation, mukti, are restless and slaves of the desire for Pratiṣṭhā. When the karmi, jnani, yogi, and so on search in hope of attaining the fruit of enjoyment and liberation, how can they have any peace? They cannot relinquish the desire for Pratiṣṭhā. This desire is very insignificant, however. This desire is very insignificant. This desire for Pratiṣṭhā is very insignificant, however, in those Vaishnavas who have no thirst at all for bhukti and mukti. So Pratiṣṭhā is just coming from this desire for wanting to enjoy or wanting to become free from suffering. Present-day Vaishnava acharyas desire Pratiṣṭhā and are intolerant. Nowadays, the acharyas of Vaishnava Dharma cannot tolerate the slightest disrespect. From the outset, they endeavored to enhance their dignity by placing their feet on the heads of all. It is not unreasonable for an acharya to receive respect from others, but if he courts that respect for himself, where is his real value? Furthermore, he becomes angry with someone who does not offer him full prostrated obeisances, Shashtanga Dandavat Pranams. Such anger is abominable. Well-mannered people respect an acharya by offering him a separate seat. This is correct and in accordance with Shastra. But if the acharya is angered by someone else sitting on that seat, it is most unfortunate. All such behavior solely arises from the desire for Pratiṣṭhā. Yes.
I have a question or a comment from the very first sentence. He says, we desire our own honor and distinction. Very first sentence. And so, but I wonder, I mean, we don't want to become indistinct. We do want to be distinct as spirit souls. So, so it's that kind of egotistical individuation that he's discussing.
Yes. Yeah, there's like a good kind of Pratiṣṭhā and a bad kind of Pratiṣṭhā, right?
Okay. So
We want the good Pratiṣṭhā.
I just wanted to make that
Thank you, Satya. That's such an interesting point. Thank you for pointing that out. Yeah, I guess also that distinction comes as a automatic side effect of bhakti without pursuing it. Vaishnavas get all kinds of fame and distinction and honor and so on.
Yeah, I think. Sorry, go ahead.
Just as thinking about the differences in the kind of distinction as we're pulling that word out, the difference between when it comes to Vaishnavas as a side effect or through bhakti versus when it's pursued as an objective by those who are after primarily bhukti and mukti, even if it's in the disguise of spirituality or bhakti. And up to now, the primary distinction that we're hearing about is the behavior of the person.
Yeah.
Right. And I think this distinction, as opposed to distinct, has to do more with fame. That's the kind of distinction they're looking for, is that kind of fame, as opposed to being distinct individuals in service. So that was the only thing I wanted to say about that there.
Mm-hmm.
What have you got here?
This is a quote from Srila Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura. I found two versions of it. So anyways, but he says, should I just read the whole thing? Let's see. No, I'll just read this section. So sorry before the weird diacritics. It says, Vaishnavi Pratiṣṭhā. We should not want any popularity among the ordinary public, as they are mostly insane. We want a position in the eye of the masters of my Gurudev. We want Gurudev to think, yes, he is an enthusiastic servant. He will prosper. When they look upon us with some affection and encouragement, that will be our capital. Their affection for us, their goodwill, that will be our capital as we pass on our way towards the higher realm. Let me just look at this one. I think this one's a little bit different. I want Vaishnavi Pratiṣṭhā. I don't want any popularity from the ordinary public. They are almost insane. But I want a position in the eye of my master, my Gurudev, that, yes, he is a promising boy. He will spiritually prosper. When my higher guardians look upon me with some affectionate encouragement, that will be my capital. Their goodwill and liking for me will be my capital on my passage toward the higher realm. When we are alone in a solitary place and going on with chanting the holy name, then of course this Trinadapi Sunicena must be strictly observed at all times. But when fighting under a general in a preaching campaign, then our external demeanor should be a little different, more towards carrying out the order of that higher spiritual general. That will be more gainful. I guess that goes into a little bit of a different topic, but yeah, just we don't want Pratiṣṭhā from anybody. Yeah, what were you about to say, Satyamataji?
He says Vaishnavi. Is that feminine?
Vaishnavi Pratiṣṭhā, that means the Pratiṣṭhā of the Vaishnavas.
So it's plural?
It's not plural. It's I think it's like of the Vaishnavas, like
okay.
Vaishnava.
I think that there's that famous song of Śrīla Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati where he also mentions that in one verse.
Yes.
Vaishnavi Pratiṣṭhā Parivarjana, that line. And it does indicate, and I've also read from Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura in his book Godruma Kalpatavi about being a preacher, or about the marketplace of the holy name, that the Vaishnavas, especially preachers, but all Vaishnavas, should be very careful of this seeking Pratiṣṭhā from the opposite gender. So men from women and women from men.
Okay. Oh, interesting.
In the song, when it says Vaishnavi Pratishtha is specifying, that for that male devotee seeking the Pratishtha and admiration from the opposite gender, which is women. But then Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura in his book Gauḍīya Kalpatavi, at least the translation I read, mentioned both, vice versa.
Okay.
Wow, that's interesting. I've never heard it explained like that. Vaishnavi,
That's
like
wonderful.
But here's from the Dushtaman Tumiki Sera Vaishnav. So he says, Vaishnavi Pratishtha Tate Koronishta Tahana Bhojile Lobibe Rorava Harijan Dvesh Pratisṭhāśā Klesh Korokeno Tabe Tahar Gorava. Be steadfast in your acceptance of the prestige that comes from being a Vaishnav. If you do not observe this, then you will go to the hellish planet known as Rorav. Envying the devotees of Sri Hari is an affliction arising from your desire for prestige. So why do you see so much glory in that prestige? And then it goes on to explain the Madhavendra Puri. Madhavendra Puri. Always know that Madhavendra Puri never stole, that is, he never falsely displayed the symptoms of bhav. Your fame is the excrement of hogs. Never consider it to be equivalent to his. Anyhow, it says that, interesting.
Did you do this translation? It's very nice. I've never seen that particular translation.
Yes, this is, me and Kundalata, actually Śrīla Bhaktivedanta Patrikā Samaj is very involved with this translation.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. This is probably one of the most difficult songs we've ever translated. In the song. Yeah. Okay. So, it is extremely difficult to give up the desire for Pratishtha. Yes.
I had one more thing. So in this discussion that we just had, it's encouragement that is moving us forward, and that this Vaishnava who's above us sees us and is noticing us because of that, but then he gives that encouragement so that we can progress more.
Yes.
And still, I just want to focus on, for myself, that individuation, that we should not kind of meld into the crowd, that we have this individual self, that who we are and what we do and how we do stuff. Anyway, okay, enough.
Yeah, no, and I like that point. Like we want to have Pratishtha also means to be established, right? And we want to be established in the conception that I am the property of my Gurudev, of the Vaishnavas. And we become established in that. That is our, and any fame that comes to us, that it's not us. It's like, it's all that that's the ideals when we see all the glory going to Srila Gurudev, to the Vaishnavas, to our Guru Varga, because actually, we just read recently, when we were reading about Srila Bhakti Vallabha Tirtha Goswami Maharaj, they just had a program for him yesterday, a very long, beautiful program for him. And there is Bhakti Surit, what's his name? Bhakti Surit Paramadvaiti Maharaj. He mentioned how Srila Bhakti Vallabha Tirtha Goswami Maharaj, he was very old and he wasn't in a position to be able to travel anywhere. And like his health was not good. But he got a very strong desire to go to, I think it was Gwalapara, to the mat there in Assam. I think it was that mat. Anyways, and he kept on telling the glories of Srila Bhakti Madhav Goswami Maharaj, like every single day, again and again and again. And he kept on saying, I really want to go there, and the way that he was able to get this mat, from despite all the difficulties, and he kept on repeating the same thing over and over again. And his servants were like, but Maharaj, your health is not good, you can't go. And finally, after insisting again and again, they managed to, like, they brought him there. And then there also, he kept on repeating these glories of Srila Bhakti-Madhava Goswami Maharaj. And, and he's describing his glories of how he was able to get this land, and despite all the difficulties. But then really, Srila Bhakti-Vallabha Tirtha Goswami Maharaj himself was the one who went through so much difficulty, and he explains all the difficulty that he went through, fasting and like working so hard to try to get this property, but he never mentioned that. And then one day when he was again repeating these glories of Srila Bhakti-Madhava Goswami Maharaj, then his Bhakti Surat Paramadvaiti Maharaj, who at that time was Prahlad Prabhu, he said, "Oh, and Guru Maharaj, you also went through so much difficulty, like, you know, you were also involved with getting this land." And Srila Bhakti-Vallabha Tirtha Goswami Maharaj became so upset. He was like, and the point of that whole glorification of him, though, was that even though he was the one who did the work, he didn't see it as himself doing, like, he didn't see himself as the doer. He had no conception of himself being the doer. And so all the fame, all the pratishtha that he had from it, he like genuinely didn't consider it his. He only considered it to be Srila Bhakti-Madhava Goswami Maharaj's. And he would repeat that again and again and again. And he'd get upset if he even heard anything like, "That's not me. You're not understanding the reality." So that's the kind of pratishtha that we want to have, Vaishnavi pratishtha, that I am the servant of my Guru Maharaj. And like, we're proud of our Guru Maharaj. And like, yeah, that's then we don't accept any pratishtha for ourselves. Even though pratishtha comes to us, we don't see it as being ours.
That's that phrase, "all glories to Srila Prabhupada." That's that phrase. It's like, yes. "Oh, you're doing such a nice job." Oh, all glories to Srila Prabhupada.
That's a really nice, I never thought of it like that, but that is what it's saying, isn't it? All the glories go to Srila Prabhupada. Yeah. Jai ho. I like it. That's really nice.
There was a little story that Prabhupada said to these devotees, no, they talk about how to be humble, understanding humbleness, that the devotees should be like that, no pratishtha. But Prabhupada said, no, actually being the Vaishnava, one should be very proud that he is or she is.
Okay.
Occasion we can use properly Pratishtha.
Thank you. It is extremely difficult to give up the desire for pratishtha. Many Vaishnavas have given up their homes and accepted the dress. Did I already read this? No, I didn't. Okay, so many Vaishnavas have given up their homes and accepted the dress of a renunciate. Peace-loving people who consider that householders have the greatest desire for pratishtha, they leave their homes and accept the dress of renunciates. In that renounced situation, however, pratishtha arises with an even greater intensity than before, than when they're grihastas. If one who has accepted the dress of a renunciate is not offered respect, he becomes particularly angry. If the desire for pratishtha is present in a householder, if the desire for pratishtha is present in householder Vaishnavas and Vaishnavas in the renounced order, what can be said of others? This reminded me of a quote from something my Gurudev said in Los Angeles, I think, 1998. He said, "I think that mostly the grihastas do not make offenses. They are fearful of committing offenses. Nowadays, sannyasis and brahmacharis are not at all afraid of committing offenses. In fact, they are desperate to commit offenses. They are committing offenses, one after another, after another. They have no fear. But the grihastas are somewhat polite, thinking, oh, we don't know anything. we don't have so much association with high-class Vaishnavas because we are in family life. In this way, they have respect for pure Vaishnavas. Householders are more tolerant and advanced in devotion to Krishna, than many modern sannyasis. The Gurudev said that June 5th, 1998 in Los Angeles. Yeah, so you see, often the opposite happens. You think that you're going to leave all this fame and everything like that by putting on the dress of a renunciate, but then the opposite happens. Instead of becoming more humble and devoid of a desire for Pratiṣṭhā, it actually increases, and then we expect all this respect. Okay. The desire for Pratiṣṭhā is not removed without Krishna Seva. When we collect and contemplate the instructions of great people, we understand that as long as we cannot give up the desire for Pratiṣṭhā, we cannot consider ourselves Vaishnavas. Real humility is not found in mere words. I say that I am not worthy of being the servant of a servant of the Vaishnavas, but all the while within my mind, I think that anyone hearing me say this will glorify me, thinking me a pure Vaishnav. Alas, the desire for Pratiṣṭhā does not want to abandon us. For this reason, the best of the Vaishnavas, Śrīla Raghunath Das Goswami says, and then gives this verse from Manashiksha. I really like this point, though. I mean, it's a very important point because real humility is not found in mere words. There isn't any possible thing that we can do to become humble and to remove this desire for Pratiṣṭhā. Well, there is one thing and only one thing, and we're going to come to that after this section. But just, because sometimes, sometimes I think this, like, if you're just really honest and you don't hide your anarthas, the things that you're really embarrassed about and the things that you're ashamed of, and if you're just really honest, then that means that you're becoming humble, that people will ridicule me if I admit this one thing, and so then I tell it in the public, and so then maybe that seems like relinquishing the desire for fame. People are gonna, but there isn't actually any external thing that you can do to remove Pratiṣṭhā. When you do something like that, then in your mind you'll be thinking, see, people will see how honest I am, that I'm admitting to this really horrible thing, and then people will think, oh wow, he's so honest, he's so he's so open, and so like there isn't in every single thing. And the thing with Pratiṣṭhā is that it's so subtle that it's the most subtle thing of all the bad things within us, among all the anarthas. Pratiṣṭhā is the most subtle and difficult to detect. We don't even realize it's there. And yeah. So, okay. So how do we remove this Pratiṣṭhā? How do we, what is the way? There's only one way. We're going to hear from Śrīla Raghunath Das Goswami now. Pratiṣṭhāśā drishṭā Śvapacharamani me hridi natet Katang sadhu prema Sprishati shuchiretan anumana Sada tvang sevasva Prabhudaita samantam atulam Yatha tang nishkashya Tvaritamiha tang veshayati sa. It's the 7th verse of Sri Manashiksha. How will my heart touch this pure sadhu prem as long as the shameless dog-eating lady in the form of Pratiṣṭhā dances there? O mind, you should therefore serve those pure Vaishnavas who are the incomparable commanders of the army of your master, Sri Krishna. They will then remove that dog-eating lady from the temple of your heart and allow prem to enter. Rukmini Didi sent me pictures of the like an illustration of this verse. Where is it? Here. See, look, there's the shameless shameless outcast dog-eating woman of Pratiṣṭhā. See, there's a dead dog on the table. Let's see. Then she, yeah, completely shameless in front of everybody. She's not even afraid, like not even shy to come out in front of the public. Like, right? Pratiṣṭhā comes out everywhere. I don't actually understand all these pictures though. Oh, there's the commanders in the army chasing away this. Oh, I think that guy is something else. Anyways, I don't really understand the picture fully. Huh, interesting. Okay. Anyhow.
Hare Krishna. I remember after one class in Badger, I apologize, I don't remember the year, in New Braj, somebody asked a question about how to practice humility. And Srila Gurudev replied, you cannot practice humility. It's a natural feeling of the heart, and it happens, as we've just read. So Gurudev was saying, it happens when you have association with more advanced Vaishnavas. You naturally feel humility is a feeling that naturally comes through serving and higher association. Can't really practice it. That's artificial.
Yeah, and I think serving is that, right? What you just mentioned, serving, that's the main thing. Because if we just like associate with Vaishnavas, like we just read from our Gurudev, there's many brahmacharis and sannyasis, they're associating, well, externally, not in the real sense, but they're in the proximity of lots of advanced Vaishnavas all the time. But because of being in that, like, familiarity breeds contempt, then but really being in association means to try to follow, not just be in the proximity, but really try to follow the instructions. And by following the instructions of the sadhus, that's the best way to serve them, is by following their instructions. And then this Pratiṣṭhā leaves and humility develops like that. Yeah.
I'm especially sensitive to gendered imagery, especially when it relates to women. So this can also be the other way around. It can be a shameless dog-eating guy.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I'm going to throw that out there.
Yes.
And those pictures could be just the other way around.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay, extinction of the desire for Pratiṣṭhā and the association of Vishuddha Vaishnavas. What can we gather from the words of this Mahajan, Srila Raghunath Das Goswami? We understand that the desire for Pratiṣṭhā can never be removed by studying and discussing Shastra, by hearing instructions from those who have not attained prema, or by practicing various bodily processes of yoga. It can only be removed by associating with and serving Vishuddha Vaishnavas. Having searched for and found such Vaishnavas, it is our ultimate goal to associate and serve them. Yeah, what Manjari is saying. To accept satsanga is non-different from giving up asatsanga. By associating with Vaishnavas, saintliness, sadhuta, will manifest in our hearts, and sinfulness will be completely removed. When our hearts are clean, a ray from the sun of prema will enter. This ray, which enriches our hearts with prema, comes from the heart of a saintly Vaishnava. This is the only way to attain prema and give up Pratiṣṭhā. It is the natural method to become a sadhu. All other approaches are fruitless labor. In conclusion, attaining one's eternal transcendental nature is non-different from removing one's temporary material nature. Attaining one's eternal transcendental nature is non-different from removing one's temporary material nature. So it doesn't, we shouldn't focus on just trying to give up Pratishtha, the negative thing, of giving it up. But no, we just focus on serving the sadhus, associating with and serving the Vaishnavas, but pure Vaishnavas, who have prem, and then automatically it will go away. This desire for Pratishtha. Yeah, it's always important to give. I mean, of course, we should, we should be aware and try to give up the negative, but we place more emphasis on the positive thing, right? And then the negative automatically goes away. Okay. By the influence of sadhu sangha, Krishna prem is obtained, and the desire for Pratishtha is removed. The nature of Krishna prem is such that it is only entrusted into the heart of Vishuddha bhaktas of Krishna, and it has no other dwelling place. Krishna prem is entrusted only into the hearts of Vishuddha bhaktas, and it has no other dwelling place. It is passed from one soul, one atma, to another, just as lightning passes from one cloud to another. Gradually, by associating with Vaishnavas, the prem in the Vaishnav's heart is naturally transmitted into the heart of the jiva. Gradually, by associating with Vaishnavas, the prem in the Vaishnav's heart is naturally transmitted into the heart of the jiva. At that time, wicked tendencies are removed from the heart of that jiva, and a saintly nature manifests in him. All the exalted qualities that purify the heart and that accompany prem become manifest. It is therefore our duty to remove the desire for Pratishtha by taking sadhu sangha. Let's reread that last sentence. It is therefore our duty to remove the desire for Pratishtha by taking sadhu sangha. Translated from Sri Gauḍīya Patrikā, Year 1, Issue 6, September 1949. And it was translated for Rays of the Harmonist, number 11, Kartik 2002. All right, so what does anybody have any thoughts, anything that they'd like to share?
I just want to say these little remembrances of Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura and Pramod Puri Maharaj have just been so inspiring. Like, I kick myself for never having their association. It's just so true, having their association, even in these remembrances, so powerful.
But the thing is, we can still associate with them, right? Even today, because they're not bound by time and space.
Right,
and
right.
Isn't darshan through the ears is superior to darshan through the eyes, because the eyes can cheat us. But when we hear the glories from of these Vaishnavas, from people who've actually seen them, who've actually, like on a much deeper level, then
Who've served them, yes.
Yes, who serve them, then we can associate with them in a deeper way than if we just had their physical association. So there's never any reason to feel hopeless. Yes. So if no one has any points to mention, I didn't prepare anything myself, and so if nobody has anything to say, and then maybe I can just, I found some quotes to do with Pratishtha, on the topic of Pratishtha. Maybe I could read some of those.
That'd be nice. I just one thought I'm appreciating so much this morning in this Iṣṭa-goṣṭhī is how we don't usually think of the positive side of Pratishtha the way we've heard about in this article today. Just like we don't usually think of ahankar or individuality or any of those things in the positive way. We only think of the perverted reflection, the negative way, the temporary material conditioning of them that we deal with and are relating with. But actually, that's why we say in English this term that we got from Srila Prabhupada, false ego, because there is a true ego, and false identity or material identity because there is a spiritual identity. So to hear this emphasis on Pratiṣṭhā itself is actually a positive thing if you're following the correct process of bhakti yoga under guidance. There is this positive aspect of it, and actually that positive aspect is the only way to truly uproot the anartha aspect of Pratiṣṭhā. So that is just really fascinating and so important to remember.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, very, very, very wonderful point. So much more inspiring when we like and always focusing on, oh, I have to give up this and I have to give up that and there's this and that, but we just focus on the positive and it all. And be proud of our acharyas, be proud of being and our fortune of coming in contact with these sadhus and all Pratiṣṭhā going to them. Well, actually, Manjari, what you were saying, that reminds me of something Madhuvrat asked Gurudev. So let me find it.
One last quick thing, as you said, that abhiman also is used, the word abhiman, usually in the negative connotation, but in, I forget which bhajana of Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura it's used in the positive way of having the radhikara dasi hai abhiman, that will be my abhiman, my sense of pride and identification, the maidservant of Srimati Radhika. So that cultivating that positive, that pravriti marg, positive conceptions of all these things is the sweetest and most natural way to shed all the other lower conceptions.
Yes. Yes. Very nice one. This is from 2007, Walking with the Saint. So Madhuvrat Prabhu, who is the servant, cooking for Srila Gurudev at the end, he said, Gurudev, it is stated in the purport that Pratiṣṭhā, the desire for name and fame, is the root of all anarthas. It's the root. Can you please explain something about this? And Srila Gurudev said, even when other bad qualities disappear, Pratiṣṭhā remains, because it is very deep in the heart. It will leave completely only when one is liberated from this world and has reached the stage of prem. Otherwise, it lives in the heart and can awaken by one means or another. And just on that, in Madhurya Kadambini, where is it? It shows where is it? I saved it somewhere. 1 second, let me just find it. It shows the cessation of anarthas. Here it is. I have it on this. And the last of the anarthas to go is the desire for Pratiṣṭhā. But see, okay, so the light colored one is eradication of anarthas arising from impious and pious activities. The middle one is eradication of anarthas arising from the practice of devotion. And the darker one, the one on the right side, is the eradication of anarthas arising from offenses, aparadota anartha. So see how, especially this last one, the offenses arising from aparad, it only leaves even once you reach the stage of bhav. See, there's purna, the complete cessation. Even when all the purna means complete, so there's been complete cessation of all anarthas, but it's not atyantiki, it's not absolute yet. That means even at the stage of bhav, this is a stage of bhav here, then that means what is, even though it's all gone, there's an example given of when you have like a bottle of, I don't know what, of an oil, let's say, what's something that has strong scent? Anyways, if you have a bottle of scented oil and you completely empty that bottle, there's no more oil in it. It's completely gone, all the oil, but there's still a smell you can still smell what was in the bottle. So that is that is like when we're removing our anarthas, they might all be gone, but there's still a smell of the anarthas remaining. And that smell is the desire for Pratiṣṭhā. It's the last anartha to leave us. It's the most subtle. It's the most, like you can't even detect it. It's the last one to go. And Śrīla Gurudev also says in Bhakti Rasayan, I think he says right here, look, he says, this is Bhakti Rasayan chapter 8. He says, this Maya is very dangerous, and escaping its many trappings is very difficult. And even if someone can renounce everything, even his wife and family, still he may not be able to leave the desire for prestige, for Pratiṣṭhā, as it is as if the desire for it runs in our veins. The desire for Pratiṣṭhā runs in our veins. But if we receive some special mercy from the spiritual master, the Vaishnavas and Bhagavan, then we will be able to abandon that desire. Otherwise, we won't easily be able to leave it. We should make our own effort to leave it. But we must also receive the mercy of both, their mercy. Okay, we have to make an effort to leave it, but we must also receive their mercy, both. That's interesting. Sorry, that was, so where was Madhubrat saying? Okay. So otherwise it lives in the heart and can awaken by one means or another. Then Vrindavan Das, Vrindavan Prabhu in Hawaii, he says, there's still something remaining. There's still something remaining as long as one has this body. Because, right, the stage of prem can't be contained within this body. So is there still something remaining as long as one has this body? Then my Guru says, yes. As long as one has a body, something remains. It may be sleeping, but it can awaken at any time. Then Vrinda Didi, she says, does Pratiṣṭhā come when someone honors us, or is it always present? And Śrīla Gurudev says, Pratiṣṭhā first came when the jiva became conditioned and began receiving material bodies. But it becomes gradually less and less and less as bhakti develops, just like that chart that we saw. It is due to Pratiṣṭhā that anger arises. If there is no Pratiṣṭhā, there will be no anger. Thus, Pratiṣṭhā is the root of all evil. Then Madhubrat Prabhu asks, can it be used in Krishna's service? And Gurudev says, no. How can it possibly be used in Krishna's service? Only someone like Srila Rupa Goswami can do so. He offered Pratiṣṭhā, he offered all honor and respect, fame to others, even to those who were far inferior to him. We have heard that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Ṭhākura always addressed to others, including his disciples, with the word apni. That's the respectful form of you. He did this for all of his disciples, except for our Guru Maharaj and one other brahmachari, Paramananda Prabhu. He addressed them with the word tui, which is the most intimate form. There's 3 forms, and yeah. But yeah, just thought that was nice. Does anybody have any other points they'd like to mention, or should I just read some more of these quotes? I didn't even organize them. I can't even remember what they all are. I just went to Folio and I just typed in the word Pratiṣṭhā and found. Okay. This is nice. This is a positive one. This is from Sri Guru and His Grace, chapter 13. Krishna is at the root of everything, and whatever he wills is successful. Krishna wants to dance in a particular way with a particular servitor, and he successfully dances according to his own sweet will. Krishna is the wire puller, the controller. The key is in his hands. He controls both universal and specific dealings. By understanding this, we can save ourselves from Pratiṣṭhā, or false prestige, the thirst after name and fame. If we are fully conscious of the fact that everything is in the Lord's hands, then we cannot feel any pride. Reminds me of that song. I mean, I quote this all the time. You've probably heard me mention it a few times, but that song by Srila Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura, how does it go? Kripa Koro Vaishnava Thakur. Sambandha Janiya Bhajite Bhajite Abhiman Ho Dur. So, yeah, I guess like the first covering of the jiva is ahankar, right? Like this false ego. And along with this ego comes a desire for recognition, this desire for pratishtha. So how do we remove that? The method, Srila Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura explains, he prays to the Vaishnavas, Kripa Koro Vaishnav Thakur, O Vaishnavas, please be merciful to me. Sambandha Janiya, when I understand my relationship with you, with Krishna, when I understand my position with my relationship with Krishna, my sambandha, and then I bhajite bhajite, and I engage in the process of bhajan and worshiping Krishna and all these activities of bhakti, then abhiman ho dur, then all my pride, false ego, my desire for pratishtha, all that will be completely removed. It will go far away, ho dur. So the method is to become established in our relationship with the Vaishnavas. To understand, that is the way to remove the desire for pratishtha and any kind of false ego, pride. That's the only way. Also, right? Srila Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura says that any other processes is completely, what does he say? Fruitless labor or something like that. We just need to focus on that one thing, and then automatically it will happen. Then real humility and will come. Otherwise, any other kind of humility is actually not totally pure. It's mixed with the desire for pratishtha. Yes, Shubhananda Prabhu.
In the same Vaishnava Kit, Amita Vaishnava e buddhi haile amanina hava ami Pratiṣṭhāśā asi hridaya dushive haive nirayagami. So I think here thinking oneself to be a Vaishnava, or rather having some proud feeling in thinking ourselves as a Vaishnava is, I think it is E buddhi haile amani na hava ami. So by this we may not become amani. Is it okay? Is it the exact meaning? Something else.
Yes.
But in the quotes in this prior discussions, there was a point like we should have some pride in, or have some proud feeling about being Vaishnava, or something like that. Or I'm wrong in getting the meaning.
Yeah, I mean, that is I'd like to get find more quotes from our acharyas on this topic, but so because right now, and if anybody has anything to share on this, please do. But just I think having a sense of pride, not having pride that like I am the disciple of blah 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 blah, like that's not but because that's just a desire of like you're trying to, that's actually like guru bhog, right? You're trying, because of your connection with the guru, you're trying to get respect for yourself. But when we when we only feel like, when we feel not pride in my connection with Shri Guru and pure Vaishnavas like that, but when we just feel pride in them, like I'm like in these personalities, then and we don't care about what anybody else thinks of us. We don't want pratishtha in the eyes of any other person. Srila Śrīla Goswami says that they're mostly insane. Why do we want pratishtha from? Why do we want fame from like other, to be famous among ordinary people are almost insane? No, but we want to be recognized by Srila Gurudev, by the Vaishnavas. And that doesn't mean externally. That means that we want them to be, we want them to accept me as their own property. Like I want that kind of recognition. like you can't make a relationship or get you can't make a relationship with the Vaishnavas by being a good devotee or by like doing everything perfectly properly, but it's by being complete. Anyways, maybe I'm going into a different topic, but yeah, by being completely having full confidence in them and in their ability to deliver me, and that they aren't going to reject me because of my shortcomings in this and that. They're here to deliver the most fallen. But if I can just be honest in front of them, I don't need to reveal my anarthas and like that in front of ordinary people. That's not going to help me. But if I can do that in front of the pure Vaishnavas, then they'll see, oh, this person trusts me. They're able to open their heart to me. They want my help. And then we make a relationship with them. And then we become established. Then that's real Vaishnavi Pratiṣṭhā. Everything is just going to them. There are, what Satya Mataji said, all glories to Śrīla Prabhupada. We don't want any glory for ourselves.
I guess just to repeat and summarize what I've understood this morning from the readings is that the eternal Pratiṣṭhā, the true conceptions of our Abhiman, Pratiṣṭhā, and true ego or identification all comes naturally and gradually through serving those exalted Vaishnavas sincerely. And then gradually in stages, that pure conception of Pratiṣṭhā and identification and pride in Guru Varga, Krishna, and ultimately Srimati Radhika, or, accordingly, as bhakti evolves into higher stages, there will be a manifestation of transcendental pride. But this is what I've understood from the reading this morning.
Wow, that's very, very nice summary. Yes. And there's a bunch of comments on YouTube and Facebook. Let me just take a look.
And one more thing, isn't this why Sriman Mahaprabhu, he says, Gopi Bharatu Pada Kamalaya, or Das Anudasaha. And I don't, Madhukar, do you know, was it Gurudev who instituted the practice? Somehow or another, I got the practice, and it's been so many years. I was just a kid practically when I started, but that we would always recite that shloka before Anik, Naham Vipro Nachanarapatir, and just that conception of being the servant of the servant of the servant of the Vaishnavas, and Gopi Bharatu Pada Kamalayor, Das Anudasaha, the maidservants of Srimati Ji.
Yeah, that I think that's actually, if I remember correctly, that's the Bhuta Shuddhi, right? Like before we.
Oh yes, yeah. So it must was it? But I don't know, like, of our acharyas who instituted that practice of reciting that shloka as part of the Atma Bhuta Shuddhi.
I can't remember. I have to look, but it might be an Archandipika even.
It is.
Maybe,
so was that Saraswati Thakur perhaps, or Bhaktivinoda, who gave that practice? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't looked in the other like Gauḍīya Math Archan books, but yeah, no, that's very important. Before we do our Anik, right? We first purify ourselves by mantra of Pavitra Pavitra Va, and then, but the more important one is that verse, right? So that we can, because we keep on we always have to keep on reminding ourselves of who I am, that I'm like what my real identity is. And the more we become established in our identity, and our identity is completely linked with our connection with Krishna, our sambandha. And so the more we become established in that, then the more humility will arise. Yeah, very nice. Okay, Vidya Lala Sadidi, she's writing comments. Let me just see what she's saying here. She said, about focusing on the positive rather than negative. I was thinking just like we cannot detach ourselves by trying to do so. But when attachment to the Lord develops, detachment naturally, it comes naturally. Yes. Yeah, from attachment comes detachment. Always the
higher taste principle.
Yes, yes. And another example that comes to my mind regarding eradication of anarthas is after switching off the fan, it still moves for a while before coming to a complete stop. Yeah. Yeah.
Out of the question, out of the 33 not temporary, transitory manifestations of ecstasy, isn't pride one of them?
Yeah, but that, like you
Oh,
mean
interesting.
among the Vyabhichari Vas?
Yeah. Wow,
Yes.
what I'm trying to get is like what Mantari was saying that this morning. You know, this words, this emotions, when they're in the spiritual world, they're 100% okay.
Yeah, completely different thing. Yeah.
Yeah. But they're pride. Excuse me. But they would consider, you call them pride, and is that the love of the gopis is sometimes is called calm. Many times it's mentioned as calm, but we know it's not that last 180 degrees different. I like there's something you read not too long ago by Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura Maharaj. It's about vairagya, how we immediately think, oh, renunciation, giving up. But he saw that there is a positive side to vairagya, which is that flooding ourselves with the positive Lord Sri Krishna, his pastimes, his forms, all that. Excuse me. And the other side effect of what we look externally as renunciation will be there. But it's going back to that, what we mentioned before, somebody mentioned before, how we can practice, what was it? Practice not being proud. You can, what was it? If something natural is, the feeling is there, and come out. So, anyhow, well, thank you.
So yeah, does anybody have any more points they'd like to mention, or should we end with we can conclude with a kirtan?
In that song that has the ways of using various things like Gam and Krodh is to be against the Dveshis and so forth. I thought that pride was mentioned in that song. Do you recall?
How does it go? Kama Krishna, no, what is it? By Narottam Das Thakur. I can find it in a second. Let me just open up Folio really quick. Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, I came in late, so I've only been here about 22 minutes. I don't know what everything that was said before.
No problem. Is it Kamal? No. God, I can't remember the rest. What is it? Krodha Bhakta Dveshi. Yeah. Krodha Bhakta Dveshi. Yeah, anyways. There. So here it is. Śrīla Goswami Maharaj. Kama Krishna Kamar Pane, Krodha Bhakta Dveshi Jane. speculation, planning, etc. may be utilized in the service of Krishna. We shall try to utilize any anger within us by defending the devotees. And in this way, in no time, we shall get relief from anger. The free flow of the mind may be directed and utilized in Sadhu Sangha, Sadhu Sanghe Harikatha. Wait. That's not. Let me find another. Okay, here's the verse that you're referring to. Kama krodha lobha moha mada matsara damba saha stane niyukta koriva. Can I make this bigger so you can all see? Let me try. No, I can't. Wait, let's see if I can change the size. Nope, sorry about that. Yeah, I'll put it on a Word doc.
I guess this is where Sanskrit, it just is such a useful and perfect language, because then there's like a difference between the different kinds of pride. Like we just have this word in English, pride, but
Oh, this is in the Balaram font.
yeah, the
Madhu
different.
Krishna, I see Madhu Krishna, which Balaram font makes Kanaya. Oh, you made it back to Krishna.
Sorry, Manjari, what were you saying? The words, Sanskrit words are very specific, right?
Right, because then you break it down into dambha versus, I mean, I don't know what the other varieties of words are within pride, but kinds of pride, kinds of pratishtha. And it's interesting there that anger can be channelized favorably, but not the not envy, and not the kind of pratishtha that we're reading about. The negative side of pratishtha cannot be channelized.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, because damba isn't one of like kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya, damba. It's 6, right? 6 foes.
Yeah,
That's
so
1, 2,
Mud,
3,
I think, is
4,
the one
5,
that we
6.
think of as pride,
And it
but
has
Mud
damba
is a
here as
little.
like a 7th. All these arise with damba, right?
Oh,
Yeah, they're all different expressions of dambha, that false pride, false ego pride.
Then stane nirukta koribo. Ananda kori hridoy, ripu kori porajay, anayase govinda bojibo. And then this is a famous verse. Śrīla Bharati Maharaj would quote this all the time. Kama Krishna karmar pane, krodha bhakta dveshi jane, lobha sadhu sange hari katha, moha ishta labhe bine, mada Krishna guna gane, niyukta koribo jata tata. So that's what it is. Mada Krishna guna gane. Right?
right, but that sounds. I mean, there's more than one translation of mud. That sounds a little bit more like the intoxication kind of mud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it intoxication kind of like in pride though? Like all the honor that you get intoxicated with the honor and everything? Mada?
Maybe.
What's this bhajan?
This is Narottam Thakur. Forgot how it starts, but yeah, these are how to use all the. Here, I'll read the translation. So I will engage lust, anger, greed, illusion, madness, envy, and pride in appropriate ways. And by defeating these enemies, I will feel happiness in my heart as I peacefully worship Govinda. I will engage lust by offering it in Krishna's service. Anger, I will direct towards those who are envious of the devotees. I will be greedy to hear the topics of Hari and the association of devotees. I will feel illusioned without achieving my worshipable Lord. I will be maddened while singing the glories of Krishna. In this way, I will engage these enemies in their proper places. I will be maddened while singing the glories of Krishna. Yeah.
Like kirtan is intoxicating, even maddening.
Yes,
So
that is true.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, what would be a good kirtan to sing? Maybe Dushtaman Tumiki Sera Vaishnav. It's a long one though. Or maybe.
Doesn't Srila Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura himself have a song about from Manashiksha 7 or a song?
Good idea. Yes, let's do that. Okay. Manashiksha 7. Yes. I didn't even think of that. Oh my God. Although it's not the translation is very much a rough draft. So that we have. Let's see. I haven't even started going through the Manashiksha songs yet. But yeah, these Manashiksha songs will be in the new Gauḍīya Giti Kuchu, by the way. I did a program, Kirtan classes, Festival Frat programs, Manashiksha Vrat. Here. Verse 7. Here. Okay. Wow, that's really difficult font. Sorry, everybody's eyes. Okay, so. Okay, so this verse from Manashiksha. Whoa, it's verse 7, right? Yeah, okay. Pratiṣṭhāśā drishṭā śvapacharamini me hridinatet katang sadhu prema sprishati shuchir etan nanumana sada tvang sevasva prabhudaita samantam atulam yatha tang nishkashya tvaritam ihatang veshayatisa. O mind, as long as the shameless outcast woman of the desire for prestige is dancing in my heart, how can pure transcendental prema touch it? Always serve the dear devotees of the Lord, who are the immeasurably powerful commanders of his army. They will at once banish this outcast woman and initiate the flow of prema in my heart.
Can you share your screen?
Huh? What's that?
Can you share your screen?
Oh, sorry. I thought I was sharing my screen this whole time. Sorry about that. God, I'm so... Okay, there. Oh, wait. Let me turn on the... Okay, original sound from our musicians is on, so you can hear the mridanga. Okay. I'll read the translation to the song, and then we'll sing it, and then we'll end. Only when duplicity has been banished... This is Srila Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura. Only when duplicity has been banished does the jiva gain entrance into the abode of prema, thus making his heart blessed. Therefore, endeavor with great care to obtain the jewel of prema, keeping duplicity very far away. O mind, hear these profound words. As long as the shameless fallen outcast woman of the desire for recognition dances in my heart, then duplicity, her paramour, will not relinquish his hold on my intelligence. In order for this dog-eating woman to be banished to a faraway place, in earnestness, take hold of the feet of those dear to the Lord and render profuse service to them. Bhaktivinoda cries, "Oh, when will those generals of the Lord powerfully remove the association of that dog-eating woman and give this destitute person the wealth of love for Shri, Radha, and Krishna?"
Those were the pictures that I sent were illustrating this, but maybe you already did them when I wasn't here?
I didn't actually fully understand them, but now I get it. It's duplicity, right? That's
Duplicity is the boyfriend of the dog-eating woman.
Okay.
There's the
boyfriend duplicity of Pratiṣṭhā, and then the sadhus. They are the commanders of the army, and so they'll banish away this couple of Pratiṣṭhā and Kapadatta.
Who drew those illustrations?
I have to look in the book. They're from this another Manashiksha book that was. There's lots and lots of black and white illustrations, and also a painting for each verse of Manashiksha.
Oh wow, they're really nice.
Yeah, the one that I could look in the book. The one that Urmila commissioned. I mean, not that she drew them, but she got them done.
Got it.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't understand this, but it looks very interesting.
The desire for honor is the root So that's
those are trophies. Okay, I got it.
Yeah.
It's the root of duplicity.
Yeah. But yeah, you're sort of, we can't see the captions very well. Right. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, they go with the captions. They're illustrating those captions.
Okay. The desire for honor is the root of the plant of deceit and pretentiousness. Okay. There, all three categories of sadhaks should avoid the desire for enjoying being honored and glorified. Yes. Okay, great. All right, so let's sing this kirtan. Kapatata hoile dur praveshit primer pura. Kapatata hoile dur praveshe primer pur jiver hridoy tanya pore atayeva bahu jatne yani bare prem ratne kapatyara kohoyati dure kapatyara kohoyati dure shuno mani goda vachan shuno mani goda vachan Pratiṣṭhāśā drishtādham chandalini hriday mama jato kal koribe narta na shunoman nigoda vachan kapatyatar upapati na chadibe mamamati swapachini jahe hoy dur tararte jatana kori prabhu prishta padadhari tararte jatana kori prabhu prishta padadhari seva tume koro prachur seva tume koro prachur teho prabhu senapati o vikrama koriya ati teho prabhu senapati vikrama koriya ati swapachini sanga chadaiya Radha Krishna prem dhane dibe kobe akinchane Radha Krishna prem dhane dibe kobe akinchane bole Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura bole Bhaktivinoda Gauḍīya Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Ajaya Rupa Raghunath, Jaya Rupa Raghunath, Jaya Rupa Raghunath, Jaya Rupa Raghunath, Jaya Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura, Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura, Bhaktivinoda, Jaya Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura, Bhaktivinoda, Jaya Vaishnav Ṭhākura, Vaishnav Ṭhākura, Jaya Vaishnav Ṭhākura, Jaya Vaishnav Ṭhākura, Jaya Vaishnav Ṭhākura, Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Guru Parampara, Guru Parampara, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Bol. Jai Shri Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Giridhari, Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Ju ki Jai, Shri Govinda Gopinath Madan Mohan Ju ki Jai, Nityalila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashatarashata Shishmad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Gosai Maharaj Shri Gurudev ki Jai, Nityalila Pravishtam Vishnupad Shri Bhaktivedanta Vaman Gosai Maharaj ki Jai, Nityalila Pravishtam Vishnupad Shri Bhaktivedanta Shri Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Shri Prabhupada ki Jai, Nityalila Pravishtam Vishnupad Shri Bhaktivedanta Keshav Gosai Maharaj ki Jai, Nityalila Pravishtam Vishnupad Shri Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Gosai Prabhupada ki Jai, Śrīla Gorksharas Babaji Maharaj ki Jai, Śrīla Saccidānanda Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura ki Jai, Jai Śrīla Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki Jai, Śrī Rupa Gauḍīya Guru Varga ki Jai, Śrīla Bhaktivedanta Bharati Gosai Maharaj ki Jai, Śrīla Bhakti Balavatita Gosai Maharaj ki Jai, Śrīla Bhakti Daita Madhav Gosai Maharaj ki Jai, Śrīla Bhakti Pramod Puri Gosai Maharaj ki Jai, Śrīla Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Gosai Maharaj ki Jai, all the associates of Śrīla Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Gosai Prabhupada ki Jai, Śrī Rupa Gauḍīya Guru Varga ki Jai, Śrī Rup Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath, Śrī Jeev Gopal Bhatta Das Raghunath Shara Gosai Prabhu ki Jai, Śrī Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari, Śrī Gaur Parshad Vrinda ki Jai, Nama Jai Śrīla Haridas Ṭhākura ki Jai, Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai, Shri Kshetra Mandala, Gaura Mandala, Vraja Mandala, Mathura Vrindavan Dham ki Jai, Sarva Abhishta Pradata Giriraj Maharaj ki Jai, Shri Radha Kunda Shama Kund ki Jai, Yamuna Devi Ganga Devi ki Jai, Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi ki Jai, Shri Bhakti Devi ki Jai, Shri Purnamasi Yogamaya ki Jai, Shri Gopeshwar Mahadev ki Jai, Jai Shri Srila Raghunath Das Goswami's Mana Shiksha ki Jai, Srila Saccidānanda Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura ki Jai, all of his articles ki Jai, all the articles and all the magazines published by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada and all of his followers ki Jai, Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai. The commanders in the army of Krishna, what is it, Senapati Vaishnav Gana ki Jai, Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai, Samagata Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai, Shri Nitai Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Vrindai Tulsi Devai Priyai Keshavashacha Krishna Bhakti Padadevi Satyavataya Namo Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Dandavat pranams, everybody. Hare Krishna. Hari Bol. So the next reading will be on Krishna Amavasya, I think. So that's like, I think in about 6 days from now, or 7 days from now, about a week from now, I think. Krishna Amavasya. And then we'll read an article by Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura Prabhupada. All right, thank you so much for joining. Satya Mataji, Dandavat Pranams, Nri Hari Prabhu, and Papatarini Mataji, and Manjari Didi, Guru Nishta Prabhu, Rukmini Didi, Shubhananda Prabhu, Gopal Ghanasham Prabhu, Champak Mataji, and let's see on YouTube and Facebook, Vidyalalasa Didi, Rasapriya Didi, Hare Krishna Prabhu, and a bunch of other devotees. There's 10 devotees watching on YouTube and Facebook, but I only see the names of those who wrote comments. So thank you so much for joining, everybody, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next one. Does anybody have anything they want to say before we end the stream?
Thanks, Madhukar.
Thank you.
Please. We were seeking blessings to get rid of Pratiṣṭhā. How will we get rid of it?
Please help me, Prabhu. All right. Dandavat pranams. Jai Shri Radhe. Hari Bol. Radhe Radhe. Oh, and if anybody wants to receive the next article before it goes live, go to raysoftheharmonist.com, raysoftheharmonist.com, and you can enter in your email there. You'll receive the article by Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura Prabhupada that we'll read. You'll receive it 24 hours before we go live. You'll get the ebook and a nicely laid out email of it. All right. Hari Bol. Jai Shri Radhe.